Haven't done a longer review like this for The Walking Dead in a while, but it's because I haven't liked a lot of what Walking Dead has been doing recently between Fear. Especially, I was surprised again with how much I'm liking Dead City so far. Specifically with this one, I'll highlight, I've heard a lot of people talking about it already. Negan, he feels more like Negan again, the Negan that you've grown to love. If you go back and watch some of my Walking Dead reviews, some of my complaints with Negan were always, just because you make him redeemed doesn't mean that you have to make him, I don't know, subdued. Kind of like what they did with Daryl. Once Daryl started being a good guy, he kind of dropped having so many one-liners or conflict-type lines. He just wasn't really himself anymore. And sort of the same with Negan for a while. So we get some really good stuff with him in here. That felt more like the comic book Negan again, or just the funny Negan from earlier seasons, right? That everybody grew to like. So we'll get more into that later, but off the start, we'll go with, I really enjoyed the the Maggie being afraid of heights, and it adds a nice layer whenever something, it doesn't feel so much like a TV show. I don't know how else to put it. It's just nice attention to detail. Like, yeah, people probably wouldn't just freely climb up this and not be scared. And they also use it to make a good little dynamic between Negan and Maggie here, with her not taking Negan's hand, and he's kind of like, damn, really? But it's kind of played up, though, because on one hand, I'm like, I get where Maggie's coming from, not wanting to take Negan's hand, because even if it was like, I don't know, my mother or Vanessa or something like that, somebody that I really trust, and my best friend take their hand, my brother, it's like, I'm not taking your hand, man. I only trust me in this situation. Maybe that's just me, but I would be so scared, and the effects don't look too bad here either. Let's see. Negan is also more chatty, not just in the scene, I know the big scene everybody's talking about where he guts the dude and slits his throat. We'll get to that later. But also here with the pigeon lady. You can tell he's more friendly with her. And I believe he didn't drop an F-bomb this episode, but last episode he dropped an F-bomb. So that's something that they're incorporating when they can. I don't really care. I was surprised that we're getting stuff with the, I forget what her name is, this girl who was with Negan. I really don't care about this yet. Maybe it'll come into the story in some way. I'm sure it will. Maybe she gets a thing with Herschel Jr. going on. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't care about this. I would like it more maybe if they had somebody here that we knew from the original Walking Dead, like a small character. I could have sworn that they did. I could have sworn that the girl that introduces her here at some point is a girl from Oceanside. She looks a lot like somebody from Oceanside, but I guess not. This girl right here. No, I guess not. Just the same hairstyle. But anyway, so let's see. More good attention to detail, just little things that you don't really, they just kind of lack in the original Walking Dead. Like this scene here, whenever they all get captured and surrounded, Negan does, the homeless lady leads them back to these people, and they're all kind of talking over each other, and Negan and Maggie even have a little moment where they give each other a look.
What are you after?
It just doesn't feel so...
It's pretty obvious you dickheads.
I don't know how to put it. It just doesn't feel so staged like a lot of things from the original show started to feel. Maybe not in earlier seasons, but later on, definitely. So it's just a nice little, like, okay, that's it's better. Whoever's... I don't know if that's the directing or the writing, but it's good. Let's see. It seems like they're hinting at some type of Negan and Maggie betrayal. I've heard a lot of people talk about there's some fishy stuff going on with Maggie, obviously. Like she breaks the soldier's neck at one point, so he can't talk, because she didn't even want to go after these people to begin with. So something's clearly up. I think Negan, he has to know, and is just going on with it. Like he's an idiot if he doesn't think that something's up here. We just don't quite know what yet, or maybe it's obvious but not obvious to me. I just can't quite place what's going on yet with the two of them. We get a scene with Herschel and Maggie that I'm 50-50 on, because on the one hand I'm like, it's nice that he's just not like a prop piece anymore, just like he's just their kid, and that's it. He's just a plot device. Him and Maggie got some friction, as you, I guess, would with a teenager, which is interesting. But also, on the same sense, I want to like Herschel, so I at least want to understand like where his frustration's coming from. Why is he acting this way, so at least it can be justified. And it also adds a little bit more between him and Maggie wanting to reunite so they can make right with each other. But I don't know, I really wanted to like Herschel Jr. and this just seems like a way overreaction to me. Whatever's going on, I don't know. He seems almost like he's maybe, like, no offense, but like autistic or something, with how he's just like, I don't know, something that's just way too dramatic here. I like the conversation here with Negan and Maggie, because Negan talks about, again, very true, whoever's writing this is remembering to stay true to Negan's character, not turning him into something else like they started to on the original show, Too Far Gone, because he's talking about wanting to use these people that they just found as a resource, because that's what Negan does, and so it feels very in character for him to do that, like they're really thinking about, okay, how would Negan react in this situation. We also get Negan talking about the kingdom during his backstory, about the Croat. So that was a nice name drop, and also I like how the ear injury connects to Negan did that to him, and also connects to Negan hating rape kind of in the original Walking Dead. I mean, everybody, most everybody hates rape, but just Negan seemed like something personal had happened with him. Maybe you always kind of got the sense, and maybe that was what it was. Let's see, we get a little bit more on the Marshal too, which was pretty good to flesh out, I guess, give some more sympathy to his character. I guess this was his family. I don't know, but something that I really did appreciate during this scene more than that is, again, just nice attention to detail. So he comes into this place, of course you got the drugs and stuff around, but he busts into this place. And he doesn't just go about his day, do what he's doing. He takes the time to put a box behind the thing, which is just nice, I think, attention to detail and the kind of stuff that I feel like, I mean, the Walking Dead main show wasn't terrible. It wasn't like Fear the Walking Dead or anything. But towards the end, it did start to feel at certain spots a little bit, I don't know, just brush past those little details. We got a pretty gross kill here later on. I forgot to mention with the harpoon gun. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it. But yeah, I think it's a harpoon gun or a nail gun, something like that. But rips into one of these guys' shoulders, pretty nasty. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, look at all that meat, sick. Okay, so now the big meat. Speaking of meat, the big meat of the episode. Negan's full, it felt like another lineup scene, which it was supposed to, also mixed with the Spencer gut scene, you got no guts, classic, because he, is trying to intimidate these people. It's, again, just true to what Negan does, and also, it makes you sympathize with Maggie a little bit more, because you can see where Maggie's coming from, like, man, she's a bitch to Negan most of the time, but then you're like, oh, well, she probably does have trauma from that. And hearing Negan in this, while it's funny, it's really funny, I guess in a sick Negan-esque way. Also, what does he do? He does something else. Oh, with the pigeon bone. I think, is that whenever he first meets the people? I'm not sure, but at some point he gets like a pigeon bone, and he's like, man, I've just been waiting, I've just been dying to use this thing on somebody. Yeah, because he's upset that the lady gets killed, so, he's still sympathetic. He's a psychopath. That's the way I always got Negan in the comics. He's psychopath, but with direction. You can point him in the right direction. He's still sick, and actually enjoys these things, but just like he knows when and who to dial it down with. Like he knows not to do Maggie like that because she's one of the good people, but these people are just deranged. So screw them. I'm gonna have fun, kinda. And so yeah, that's something I missed with Negan. His excitement, for these things, his creativity, and just being a little bit twisted. So I enjoyed a lot of that. There's also, of course, JDM, Jeffrey Dean Morgan gave a great performance here. I mean, the knock and busting his head through. Love it. Classic Negan scene. And there's even, we hear after the episode, there's some extra stuff that JDM added to this scene. I would love to see that released and see what other stuff he wanted to do in there that they had to cut. Yeah, it's starting. This is a piece of this. It feels more. It's more focused, obviously, because of Negan and Maggie. I know some people are tired of seeing Negan and Maggie interact. I get it, but it's done pretty well in here. But it's more of a character drama, I feel like, with this show. Whereas in The Walking Dead, it got to a lot of just plot. And I like the character, the inner dynamics drama. It's one of my favorite types of shows to watch. So it's got me there too. Yeah, they had some good shots of New York City. Some scenes I've heard people talk about too, like a lot of the creep factor of the original Walking Dead is you can hear like the bugs and the atmosphere and stuff like that. And they do have a scene like whenever the one girl is escaping from the Hilltop 2.0 or wherever she's at. And you can just kind of hear the bugs and stuff. But something too that we learn about the Croat is he has gas, and that's a huge resource to put him kind of at the top of the ecosystem. So I like how they added that to him being a part of him as well. You hear from the showrunner here. So I thought that was a cool detail, and how he's got the different tribes planned out. I think the helmets are a little bit silly though. I mean, they're effective, but then you think about it, like, I don't know. I've had on a motorcycle helmet before, and it's really not comfortable. Like, I don't know, for peripheral vision type stuff, anything other than looking ahead, it seems it's just not comfortable. So yeah, on one hand it's cool, but sometimes their creativity, I understand them wanting to make things different, but at the same time it's like, okay, some things you just leave alone though for the sake of it. It's just kind of dumb, but it's all right. So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, especially like I said, the Negan stuff. Old Negan is back. They still kind of use it like it's not how he is all the time. It's just kind of something that he turns on sometimes, but they're doing a lot better with his character here than what they did in any of the final episodes of Walking Dead. I think for sure towards the end. So I hope they keep it up to keep Negan a fan favorite classic character for sure. So let me know what you thought about this episode. I'm gonna give it out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 9. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. Just by Walking Dead standards, how it's been and how this one brought it to the table. Yeah, I think it earned a 9. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.